So Megyn Kelly is at it again, talking about blackface, and she didn't see anything wrong with wearing blackface. Here's the thing, you know, to excuse it away, she said, who wouldn't want to look like Diana Ross? That's fine. But looking like Sandra Bland will get you killed. Everybody is fun. I think that you should be able to wear, you know, you can wear blackface. Because, you know, on Halloween, blackface will get you candy. Try wearing it to get a raise. Mm-hmm. This whole thing about blackface comes up every year. I think the minute you put on blackface, your credit score should drop and your cholesterol level should go up. What's more insulting about wanting blackface once a year is pretending like you're not racist. We already know that Botham Jean, who was murdered by a off-duty Dallas police officer, had marijuana in his apartment. Isn't it ironic that it took us less time to find out that he had marijuana in his apartment than it took us to find out his killer's name? And let me ask you something. I said this the other day. They always kill you twice. They have to assassinate your character. They have to make you a monster. I don't care if he had a meth lab in his house. He was there and she wasn't in an official capacity. Isn't it ironic that we know that he had weed in his apartment before we know what Amber Geiger had in her bloodstream? This is what happens. This is how they criminalize you. We are the newspaper and the news outlets, and of course it's Fox News 4, is complicit in doing the policeman's bidding. They want to dehumanize this guy. Oh, that's why she had to do it. Obviously he smoked weed. He was a monster. She is a murderer, and she is probably, most probably, a liar. Stories have changed so much. What I cannot understand for the life of me, we know now from witness testimony that she had called the apartment on that apartment for noise complaints, including that day. But you don't know who he is? You didn't see what's going on right now for Supreme Court nominee Kavanaugh. Right now. Bill Cosby is being sentenced for crimes he committed a long time ago. He was brought to justice. He will serve time for that. Right now, Kavanaugh, they won't even ask the questions. There have been 3 women to come forward, and the Republican senators will refuse to ask him the questions, meaning they don't want to know. They don't want to know what happened. They don't want to know whether he exposed it. And I said this yesterday, and I don't understand. Why would you want to give a guy who flashes women at parties a robe? I don't understand why you would think that was okay. So Omarosa, I'll just say this: you'll never see her and James Brown at the same time.
Wow.
Of course not. And even before he died. She's peddling a new book, Unhinged, Insider's View of the White House. What Omarosa has done is sold black people out, and now she hopes that they'll forget that and buy her book based on the premise she's going to tell them things that they didn't know. And what could she possibly tell us? That he is a racist, which she's confirmed, but we already knew that. That he is incompetent, that he is slipping mentally. What is it that she can tell us that we didn't already know? Omarosa was officially Trump's nigger wrangler. I don't know how many times she bought people to the altar of Trump only to ruin their careers, whether it's HBCU presidents, whether it's celebrities, whether it's ex-football players. She bought to them willingly to Trump. Remember what she said? You will all bow down to Trump. Remember that? It's no coming back from that. What about us is a question that we're going to be asking the country pretty soon. Mr. Cohen, Donald Trump's fixer, liar, thief, henchman, has now come out and allegedly said that he will testify that Donald Trump also knew about the meeting and okayed it with the Russians. So that would mean that he openly colluded with an open power. And and he says that he has other people that can cooperate. Now, listen, it was funny to hear Rudy Giuliani, who laughs. Rudy Giuliani has lied so much his neck is small. He lied his neck off. Sarah Hughley lied so much she got a dead eye. I mean, like literally. And Donald Trump, the more he lies, the oranger he gets. Pretty soon he's going to be a flaming hot Cheeto. But let me just say this. If this is in fact true, we will get a chance to see how much you love America. Because if America knowingly, and the representatives of America and the citizens of America still support a man who knowingly colluded with an enemy to subvert the will of the American people and put the people in place that they wanted in office, America as a construct no longer exists. Nike has made Colin Kaepernick one of their faces for their 30th year anniversary. Just do it. Colin Kaepernick sacrificed to take a knee, and he sacrificed his career. He would be playing right now had he not done that. But if you're mad at Colin Kaepernick as the face of Nike, but you were silent when he became the face of police brutality, you're a hypocrite. So this Nike thing is gaining a little steam. Nike even bought an ad on the first game of the season, doubling down. It's weird that some people are going to be on the wrong side of history. Jason Whitlock, for example, will be on the wrong side of history. And it's not hard to imagine that Jason Whitlock cannot see Colin Kaepernick's point when Jason Whitlock can't see his feet. So it isn't the first time Jason Whitlock is on the wrong side of something. Just look at the wrong side of the fork that he often finds himself on. But one of the reasons, and the primary reason, I think that people are so up in arms about the Nike protest is that Nike sided with black people. And it was the first time, one of the rare times, that white people didn't get their way. Tremendously gifted artist and performer and producer. But I defy you for anybody to write a song so dope that it makes me forget slavery and the brutality of it. How brutal it was. Ain't no music that good. And no performer is that great, and no words are that powerful. Let me tell you something. If you took away the 13th Amendment, you abolished the amendment that abolished slavery, then Kanye wouldn't have the wife he has right now. He wouldn't have the platform he has right now. He'd be serving tea. Because that's what it did. And don't tell me it's to release us from physical, from emotional or mental bondage. You never needed the government to release you from mental bondage. You can do that yourself. It's the physical bondage. He keeps doing this thing where he minimizes slavery and puts an asterisk on it without understanding what he's saying. And then he has another, well, what I meant was, keep your mouth off slavery. There's some things you cannot say. You cannot equate anything to the Holocaust. You get run out because no one listens to you. Slavery was a blight on this country that we will never recover from, and you keep making light of it for whatever dumbass project you got coming out. So yesterday we were greeted with the news there was another mass shooting in Thousand Oaks, California, which is about 6 miles from where I'm broadcasting right now. Also, about 2 weeks ago in Pittsburgh at a synagogue on a Saturday afternoon, 9 people were shot, 9 people were killed, including 4 police officers were shot. We have a rash of angry white dudes. Angry white dudes. And people are looking the other way. Unlike they would if people were being killed in these numbers by jihadists, we would take extraordinary measures. If people were being killed this way by young black men who claim to be members of Black Lives Matter, we would move it in an extraordinary direction. Right now, the president has proposed closing the borders to even legal immigration until we sort this thing out. Remember, he didn't want people coming from other parts of the Arabian Peninsula until we sorted this thing out. I propose that we stop selling guns to white dudes until we sort this thing out. The most dangerous thing in the country, and Don Lemon had this absolutely right because he was only quoting what the FBI said, is angry white dudes. But I resent the fact that you believe that you are immune to jokes. I don't think anybody's immune to jokes. My father just died of cancer. I told jokes about it. You heard it in my Contrarian special. My son has Asperger's syndrome. I didn't graduate from college. And you make high school. I talk about all these things, and you think you're exempt. You can love who you love, and I'll defend your right to love them. I will defend your right to be treated fairly and to not be discriminated against. And I will also tell jokes about it. I don't think it makes you immune. I don't think you're any more special than anybody else. And don't tell me it's because people are committing suicide and dying. A girl today got teased for riding with a white girl, and she committed suicide. The very essence of humanity is humor. The LGBTQ community moved forward in such what feels like leaps, not because they were activists and ball busters. It's because of Ellen and Glee and Will and Grace. People laughed. Let's get married. So, of course, what's trending, Jasmine talked about this, but there was a little 7-year-old Guatemalan girl who died of exhaustion and dehydration. I don't know how a little girl dies like that, and we don't have that imbue itself in our conscience. Contrast with the image of Border Patrol taunting people by pouring out water. Thirsty people pouring out water. Water that was left for them on the side and pouring the water out. No harm, no foul, just to be evil. Is this our immigration policy? Is this what this is? We're going to make things so decidedly uncomfortable that no one wants to come here. And especially during this time when we are so, are supposed to be in the Christmas spirit. I hate to remind you of this, but Jesus was in fact a refugee. He was seeking shelter in a foreign land. Pouring out water for a thirsting, that has to be somewhere in the Bible. That has to be some, forget just not letting them in. But there's water there, you see thirsty people, and you pour it out in front of them. What would Jesus do? Probably be ashamed right now. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.